So I hate that the American car manufacturers kind of lost their balls. They don't really make fun, cool, or funky cars anymore, and all of their cars get duller by the year. Seems like every American car manufacturer, except Ford, thank God they're still making the Mustang, but every other one of them is dropping all of their cool cars to make cars for nerds. Well, guess what, American car manufacturers? Not all of us are nerds. Not all of us want to save the planet as much as an electric person does. I mean, we might want to preserve the planet, but who's to say that gas vehicles destroy the earth more than electric cars? And we also just want to have some fun, but it seems like they don't care about us anymore. We're not their target market. They want to go after the tech-savvy electric car guy that likes to sit in the parking lot for 30 minutes to charge his car. Now, thank God that the Japanese are smart enough to realize, okay, well, we can make these electric cars for these type of people, but we also can make combustion engines for these type of people over here. That's why Toyota came out with the GR Yaris, GR Corolla, the GR Supra. Nissan came out with the new Z. And lastly, I was hearing that Mazda might be working on a new RX, maybe an RX-9. Who knows what they're gonna call it, but that would be pretty sick. I did hear it was gonna be hybrid, but but we'll give them some leeway because they're at least trying to put the rotary back in a car. Now, back in the early 2000s, American quality might not have been the best, but at least they were making cool cars. And back when I was a kid growing up in the early 2000s, there was two cars that I wanted. Not off the horsepower, not off if it was manual or automatic or any other of the characteristics that make you like a car and not like a car. There was just two cars that I thought looked really cool. And one of them was a WS6 Trans Am. Looks like a fire-breathing shark rhino. And the other one that looks like a pizza. And it was called the Plymouth Prowler. And rest in peace to Plymouth. They made some badass cars. As a kid, I didn't know that it didn't have a V8. I didn't know that it come in manual, but just a cool looking car. There's no cooler looking car than the Plymouth Prowler. Now, as I grew up, things kind of changed because I got into V8s. I was watching American Graffiti and I was watching all those types of movie, and I saw how it didn't live up to its full potential. I saw that they could have put a V8 in it. I saw the articles where they could have put a manual in it. And at the time, that was kind of disappointing. But look at us now. We're going into an era where everything is going to be electric. And now we really don't care if it has a V6 because at least it has a V6. And are they going to ever make a car anywhere remotely near this again? Probably not. And so now the Plymouth Prowler, again, it started as a cool car, went down the rabbit hole of being a bad car because it didn't have a V8 and automatic. Now it's back up to a cool car again. So if you're in the market to buy a Plymouth Prowler or a Chrysler Prowler, this is a video for you because in this video, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know before buying and looking at a Prowler. I'm going to go over the differences between the years. I'm going to go over the differences between the trims, the common problems these cars had, rare parts that will add value to the Prowler you're looking at, and last but not least, the 5 rarest colors you could get on a Prowler. The Prowler was available from 1997 to 2002. That's already not too many years to choose from, and it even gets worse than that because in 1998, they didn't make any of them. And you can say it even gets worse than that because in 1997, they only made 457 Prowlers. And then they said they'd be back in 1999. And you might ask, what were they doing in 1998? Well, after they sold 457 of them, they decided to revamp the whole car and make everything better. In 1999, the Plymouth Prowler changed. It was a whole new beast, kind of. It now had a 253 horsepower motor, which was 39 more horsepower than the 1997 model. This was a motor that came in the Chrysler 300M. Now they offer the Prowler in yellow, black, red, and the original 1997 purple color. And if you've watched any of my other videos, my favorite color on cars is purple, so I'm so glad that the first year these came out, purple was the only color you could get. And it kind of shows that this car wasn't made for everybody. It was made for a select amount of individuals, and I think that's truly special. This is the year that they also introduced the highly sought after chrome wheels. This was an option of this year, and standard in 2000. Some of the other changes that happened in the year 2000, whether they changed the suspension up a little bit, they made the spring softer and recalibrated the shock absorbers, and they also added a leather boot to the automatic transmission shifter. I'm guessing this is because at this time they figured out that people wanted a manual, but they didn't actually want to invest the time and money to make a manual, so they said, you know what, we're gonna fool some dumb idiot and just put the leather boot around it and they'll think it's a manual. In 2001 they adjusted the shocks again, and in 2002 that was the last year you could get the Chrysler Prowler. Now for trims, the Prowler did not have, say, the GT, the ST, the SS, or any other cool trims like that. You pretty much just got the Prowler. But I would say that there's two different trims because of the years. The 1997 model had 39 less horsepower than all the other years, and you didn't get the chrome wheels. So if you're looking for the best performance Prowler, even though that these things aren't known for its performance, I would go with the 99 to 2002. Now let's dive into the common problems you might find on the Prowler you're looking at. First, we're going to go over the 1997 and 99 issues. These were the first 2 years it was produced, so of course you're going to have the most problems, and one of them is if you hear a growling noise from the AC system. don't worry, your car is not alive. It's just that the AC lines are rubbing up against the air filter housing. All you gotta do is buy the revised lines that came on the later years and you should be good to go. Now if your dashboard has a low tire pressure light on, don't worry, all you gotta do is replace the sensor. Although this is kind of tedious, you can just use this as a way to get a couple $100 off the Prowler. Next one, kind of a more serious issue we got going on now. Now this is an issue you really can't test when going to check out the car, just because you would have to go to the gas station, put money into the car, and you probably don't want to fill somebody else's car up with gas, especially the way the prices are right now. And there is a problem with the filler neck on the 97 to 01 cars. Pretty much the gas dispenser just stops putting gas in, and it makes that clicking noise, and then you gotta press it again, it'll make the clicking noise again. That's because the filler neck isn't the right one you need. They made a revised version that lets you fill up all the way, thank God. And yeah, so it's an easy fix, but you know, it's one of those things that you really can't test until you get home, and then you're like, damn, now I have to spend a little bit more money on the car I just bought. Especially on the 1997 model, you're gonna wanna ask if the guy doesn't drive the car, you know, for 24 hours before you come, just so that when you go there, you can cold start it. In 1997, they had an issue where some of them were hard to start. This can be fixed by reprogramming the powertrain control module, and the only way you're gonna figure this out is through a cold start. You're also gonna wanna ask for records. There's a couple recalls that, you know, are pretty big. They're not just, you know, oh, the seat doesn't adjust right, let's recall it. These are things that you kind of would want fixed. For 1997, they had a recall where some welds that affect the vehicle's control and crashworthiness may have not been done on the frame, and if this wasn't fixed, you could lose control. It's probably been done, but you know, just check and see. From 1997-02, pretty much all Plymouth Prowlers need their lower control arm ball joints replaced, and if they haven't been, you are riding in a death trap. If one of those breaks, your wheel is pretty much just falling off and you're gonna be skidded along the road. They did a recall on this. If you're one of those precautious types of guys and you don't know if it's done, if the condition looks all right, I would just go ahead and replace them, just so you know that you'll be safe while driving your Prowler. Not only to protect yourself, but the investment you just bought buying a Prowler. And like I said, they did have a recall for this, so I'm not sure if they're still doing the recall. I mean, how often does a Chrysler dealership see a Prowler nowadays? Probably not much, so I'm guessing maybe they stopped it, but who knows? You might get lucky and get some free parts at your Chrysler dealership. In 1999, they had another big one. Some aluminum castings used in the manufacture of the frame may have missed the required heat treatment, and if you have this issue, the frame could fracture under normal vehicle operations. So definitely look into all of these huge recalls that they did. There was more, but I'm just naming the ones that you actually want to know about. Now let's go on to the next topic, the one that a lot of you guys are probably gonna like, because you're already buying a rare car. So you probably want some rare parts to go with this rare car. Fortunately, there's no cool cup holders or rear wings that are super rare to find. Pretty much the Prowler came the way it is, you could just pick the color. Now there's two cool things that you could add to the Prowler that make it even more rare, but they are super expensive. The first one is going to be the Plymouth trailer, and you really do not see too many of these. And the reason why is because it was a $5,000 option when you bought the car. I know it looks super cool, but it is kind of tedious to own because you have to have space for it, and you have to take it out just to say get groceries. The Plymouth Prowler has almost no trunk space at all, and pretty much the only space you're gonna have for groceries is what you can fit in the passenger seat, and I guess behind your head, above your head, under your knees, wherever you can fit something in the cabin. That's about all you can do. Now, if you buy this Plymouth Prowler trailer for $5,000 off the factory line, well, now you can go to the grocery store with it. But now you're going to be taking up 2 spots, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass. You'd rather just take out your daily driver. So it's not really practical for any situation at all. You're not going to be taking your Prowler on road trips because more than likely it's going to break down. So there's really no use for it, especially since it costs $5,000. Nobody really bought the damn thing. But now, because nobody bought it, it's super cool and rare. I mean, how cool would it be to go to a car meet, a car show, and you not only have the Prowler, which you almost never see, but you have another half of a Prowler trailed behind you. A lot of people do this. They take a car that they own, they buy another one, they cut the back half of it off, and make a trailer out of it. But this is from factory. This is even before that became cool. And nowadays, if you want this trailer, you might as well buy one with the trailer, because finding the Prowler by itself and then finding someone that wants to separate their Prowler from the trailer is quite rare. Now, another rare part that you could find for this car is a hardtop. They look really good on the car. They changed the way the car looks, and it looks more like what they were trying to go after. And I definitely would want to get the hardtop if I was getting a Prowler myself. But because of them being around $5,000, You know, it's just one of those things where if you find one with it for the same price with one without, you are in for a good deal. Now to get into my favorite part of the video, the top 5 rarest colors you could get on your already super rare Prowler. And one thing that I think is so funny about these cars is that usually purple would be one of the rarest colors you could find on any car you're looking for, but on a Prowler it's one of the most common. Number 5 on the list, they only made 346 of these, is an orange Prowler. Now I love that this color is just unique. You don't really see too many orange cars on the road. You see a lot of red ones, but you never see the sister color orange. And I think it looks absolutely beautiful on this car. It just makes the line stand out, and you really can't go wrong with an orange hot rod. Next color on the list is Candy Apple Red. They only made 301 of these. And although red usually looks good on a sports car, out of all the other options you could find on a Plymouth Prowler, I think this is probably the dullest one you could find, just because usually on sports cars it's more of a common color. And they made 301 of these. Number 3 on this list is called the Black Tie Edition. They made 168 of these, and I really think this is a cool combo. I always love silver and black as a two-tone, but the way they did this, the top being black and the bottom being silver, especially since it looks like a piece of pizza, it's just a really cool design, and to whoever thought of this idea, thumbs up to you. This would probably be my second favorite color to own on a Prowler. Number 2 on this list is the Woodward Edition. They made 153 of these, and although I said red does not look good, red looks stellar with the black top. It looks like a true hot rod, and this is probably my favorite color to get on a Prowler. If you're going for a hot rod look, I mean, what more could you want than a black and red Prowler? And the last and most rare color on this list for the number 1 spot is called High Voltage Blue. They only made 1 of these, and this was the last Prowler ever made for a good cause. This car was auctioned at the Christie's auction house in Manhattan, New York on May 18th, 2002, and it sold for a whopping $175,000. Now it came with some cool stuff. Of course, you got the trailer for $175. You better. And you got a 1 of 1 color, but you also got signed documents, original styling sketches. It also had a bright anodized frame, unique body color hood badge, a custom wrapped shift knob, and signatures of the Prowler team on the undercarriage. Pretty cool stuff. Not sure if it's worth $175,000, but if you're rich, hey, why not? It's the last one ever made. It's a cool showpiece. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you have anything more to add to this video, any more common problems, interesting facts, things you should look out for, leave that down in the comments below so you can help other buyers on their purchase. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and if you want to join the Discord down below where we talk about cars and play video games, that'll be down in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.